Hello, let's learn about search engine optimization for your website in this video. Search engine optimization, or SEO, is the practice by which you increase both quantity and quality of traffic to your website through organic search engine results. For many sites, search engines provide the largest source of traffic. They use complicated algorithms to decipher and rank pages accordingly in search results. By optimizing your site for SEO, you are making it as easy as possible for Google, and the other search engines, to index your content. Yoast SEO is one of the best content optimization plugin for WordPress. To install it automatically, go to your website dashboard, then go to Plugins, select Add New. Now, search for Yoast SEO, you will find Yoast, and click on Install Now. Once it is installed, activate it. To install Yoast SEO plugin manually, download it free from its website or WordPress. Upload the WordPress SEO folder to the /wp content /plugin directory. Activate the Yoast SEO plugin through the Plugins menu in WordPress. Finally, go to After Activation. You installed and activated the Yoast SEO plugin. Now, it's time to set it up properly to enable you to unlock its full potential. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty of Yoast SEO configurations and settings. Yoast SEO plugin menu is categorized into 6 sections. The first time you power up Yoast, you'll see a general dashboard like this one. There are some tabs in the general settings menu. Firstly, the dashboard tab will greet you with the first time SEO configuration wizard, as well as problems and notifications bars. The latter two will give you a quick overview of SEO issues you might need to address immediately when you log in. If there's nothing here, you're good to go. If there is, read on and get those problems fixed. For first-time users, the configuration wizard can be a good place to start. It will take you through a 9-step setup process to help you configure some basic settings for your website. The first step, you can set the environment for your site. In other words, is your site under construction, or is it live and ready for search engine indexation? Pick the option that best describes the state of your website, and click on Next to go to step 2. Now it's time to tell Yoast what your site is about. Is it a blog, an e-commerce store, a brick-and-mortar business, or something else entirely? Pick the type that best matches your site and proceed to the next setting. Choose whether your site represents a person or a company. If your site represents a company, set your business name and add your logo. For a personal website, just add the name of the person it's representing. Press Next to go to step 4, Search Engine Visibility. This step lets you set what type of content should appear in search engines. You can set the visibility of your posts and pages. We, much like Yoast itself, advise you to leave both these options set to On as default. This will enable all of your posts and pages to be discovered in Google and other search engines. If for whatever reason you want to prevent some pages from appearing in SERP, for example, thank you pages, you can later take a more granular control. The next step allows you to set if you're the only author, or if you have multiple contributors that post on your site. This is an important setting, even though it might not seem like it. WordPress automatically generates author pages, which serve as an archive of all the posts from each author. But if you write all the content yourself, your blog page will show the exact same collection of posts as your author page. This leads to duplicate content, which Google dislikes very much. Next, it's time to optimize your page title. Having optimized page titles is not only good for SEO but also for users. Well-formatted titles grab attention and are likely to get you more clicks and drive more traffic. And more click-throughs signal Google that your site is good quality, which helps you rank higher. By default, Yoast makes your title according to the following template. Post title separator site name. Step 6 allows you to set the site name and the separator you want to use across all your posts, so you can sit back and let it optimize your titles for you. Mind you that you can do a more detailed configuration of your post titles in the search appearance settings as well as for each post individually. Steps 7 and 8 are optional since Yoast will ask you to sign up for their newsletter, and try to upsell you on their premium plugin. Hit next until you get to the 9th step and the configuration success page. Congratulations, you configured your Yoast SEO plugin successfully. But these were just the basic settings, essential to get started. To take full advantage of this plugin, there are even more settings available. And we will show you what each of them is, and how to set them up properly. Let's go back to the General Settings menu, and look at the other two tabs here. In the Features tab, you can enable or disable some of Yoast's features. By default, some of these features will be turned on. Let us give you a quick rundown of what each of them means. SEO analysis is your content optimization checklist based on your target keywords. Yoast will grade your content and give you suggestions on how you can further improve your content. Readability analysis monitors your content for issues and grades it based on readability. This feature helps you write better content that your visitors will enjoy reading. Cornerstone content allows you to mark the most important and most valuable content on your site. Enabling this feature, Yoast will help you track and easily improve your cornerstone content. Text link counter shows you how many internal links your post or page has. This can help you build an optimal SEO structure on your site. In XML sitemaps, you can enable this to allow Yoast to automatically generate XML sitemaps for you. Ready integration will check weekly if your site is indexed in search engines and notify you of any potential issues. Admin bar menu adds Yoast icon to your admin bar menu with shortcuts and useful links to other tools available with Yoast. Finally, security prevents authors from removing posts from search results and changing canonical URLs and only allows editors and admins to do this. You might want to keep this feature turned on. See what features you find useful and leave them enabled, disable others to avoid distractions and annoyances. Concerning the Webmaster's Tools tab, this tab allows you to add verification codes for the world's 4 largest search engines, including Google Search Console, Yandex, Russian search engine, Baidu, Chinese search engine, and Bing, Microsoft search engine. Sign up for each Webmaster tool using the HTML verification option, and paste the verification codes in Yoast, just only the part within the quotation marks. We show here an example for Google Search Console. Now, let's see the search appearance settings of Yoast SEO plugin. This section allows you to set up and customize how your site appears in search engines. Search appearance settings feature a set of several tabs, including General, Content Types, Media, Taxonomies, Archives, Breadcrumbs, and RSS. Firstly, in the General tab, you have the same choice of title separators set if you're using a personal or a company website. Add your brand name as well as your logo. This time, you'll also be able to quickly navigate to your homepage and your blog page, to set special titles and descriptions for each. Your homepage usually targets a very broad industry keyword, so you want to optimize its title accordingly, which doesn't fit into the template for your other pages and posts. Secondly, The Content Types tab allows you to set the search appearance for any type of content that you have. You can set which types of content should appear in SERP as well as their default descriptions. We suggest keeping all two of these switched on. We presume you want your posts to appear in Google, so keep the first one on. And the SEO meta box will help you optimize content around your target keyword. Below, you can also set the defaults for your SEO titles and your meta descriptions. Again, this is how your site is displayed in Google SERP. Our best advice is to write custom titles and descriptions for each of your posts to keep them optimized and relevant. But if that's too much trouble for you, you can also set these defaults and Yoast will generate them automatically for you. Here's a list of all the snippet variables available in Yoast. Scrolling down, you can see the same options for your pages, blocks, products. Configure default settings for your pages the same way as with your posts. Let's see the Media tab. It allows you to redirect users to the attachment itself instead of the created URL. Yoast recommend keeping this turned on. With Taxonomies tab, you can control how your categories, tags, format-based archives, and URLs are displayed in the search results. If you use categories to organize your content, it would be a good idea to also allow Google to display them in the search results. So, keep toggle on yes. Just make sure to have enough relevant content under each category. Also, optimize your categories around relevant keywords using Yoast's meta box. In this case, you can also make use of the default SEO title and meta description variables. Tags, on the other hand, are not at all useful to be displayed in the search engines, so my best advice is to switch off their appearance in SERP. Having them displayed in the search results will cause a lot of duplicated content, which is a bad signal for Google. The final 5 options are also best kept disabled since they won't benefit your site in any meaningful way. The category prefix will only clutter your URLs and won't help your navigation. Next is the Archives tab. As mentioned previously, archives are collections of posts created by WordPress itself. If you only have one person writing all the content, you should disable archives from appearing in search. Yoast will redirect the author archive pages to the homepage and remove the author sitemap. Date archives should remain disabled to avoid duplicated content. They are also collections of your content, only this time sorted by date. One post can fall into multiple archives, author, tag, and date archive, for example. If all of these archives appear in search, Google will see it as duplicated content and bad user experience, which will earn you negative points with Google. That's why it's best to disable archives, or only enabling one that makes the most sense to your site. If you still want to keep them on, for some reason, mark them as no index. This again is to avoid duplicated content. Simply toggle the Show Date Archives in search results to No. The last 2 options, Search Pages and 404 Pages by default won't appear in the SERP, and they shouldn't. So, keep the settings here on Default Settings. Now, let's see the Breadcrumbs tab. Yoast gives you the ability to easily create and add breadcrumbs to your site. Breadcrumbs are the navigational text that appears on top of your content and implies your site architecture. Google uses breadcrumbs to understand the structure of your site much better, which helps to index your pages. Follow Yoast's very own guide on how to optimize breadcrumbs for your site. The final tab in this section is the RSS tab. RSS enables users to subscribe to your RSS feed, so every time you post something new on your site, they can stay up to date using their RSS reader apps. This means you get instant viewers whenever you publish a new blog post. RSS setting in Yoast exists to protect you from nefarious people that scrap other blogs, and republish their content without even linking back. What RSS settings do is they add a bit of content to your posts, which scrapers cannot remove automatically. This will lead to these other scraper websites linking back to you, even if they republish your content. You can leave these settings as default, or if you want even more security, you can add a bit of text both before and after each post in the feed. Let's see now the social settings of Yoast SEO. These settings allow you to add links to your social media account, to help Google understand which profiles are associated with your site. Now, your social media profiles might appear in Google's knowledge graph when someone searches for your brand or related keywords. Insert URLs for each of your social media profiles and your Twitter handle. You can also control additional settings for Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Google+. Facebook settings are probably the most important here. Enable the Open Graph metadata because it will display a preview with images and a text excerpt when a link to your site is shared. This is not only used by Facebook, but other social media use it as well if there's no metadata available for their platforms. You can also add a default image that's going to appear if you share a post from your site that doesn't have an image, on Facebook. Enable Twitter card metadata to display a preview with images and a text excerpt when a link to your site is shared. To list your site on Pinterest, follow the link in the Settings tab to grab a verification code that you can then paste in the confirmation box. Ultimately, you can connect your Google+ business page, however, we wouldn't waste time with it since Google will be shutting down the platform following a huge data breach. Now, let's see the tools configuration of Yoast SEO. Yoast also comes with some pretty nifty tools that can make your blogging life easier. You can use the file editor to create and edit robots.txt and .access files. But, proceed with caution. This part is very technical, so if you are not familiar with this, please leave it to a professional web development team. With the bulk editor, you can make changes to several SEO titles and meta descriptions instead of going one by one. This can significantly reduce your time and effort if you want to make changes to multiple posts. Last but not least, you can import settings from other users or export your Yoast SEO plugin settings. While we're on the subject, you can download our recommended settings and save yourself the hassle of all the setup and configuration. You can also import settings for other SEO plugins like Headspace 2, Woodheem SEO Framework, etc. We finished here the video. If you find it useful, subscribe for more video. Thanks and see you soon in the next videos.